Who was Lilith? This name is now often associated with evil and darkness, but her origins may surprise you. In this video, we are going to look at some very interesting information that has been erased from history books. So make sure you stick around until the end. Before we get into it, be sure to hit that like button for more videos. And do you believe in the story of Adam and Eve? Let me know in the comments below. The biblical story of Adam and Eve is well known all over the world. The story goes that God created Adam, the first man, and then Eve, the first woman, out of one of Adam's ribs. They lived happily in the Garden of Eden until they chose to disobey God, which caused them to be cast out of the garden and condemned to death. But what if I told you that the story of Adam and Eve may not be the whole story? Because there are ancient texts and artifacts that suggest there were other beings present in the Garden of Eden before Eve arrived. In fact, there is an ancient Sumerian myth that tells the story of Adam and his first partner, who was named Lilith. And according to this ancient text, Adam had a partner named Lilith before he had a partner named Eve. But the story doesn't end there. The story actually gets much more bizarre. You see, Lilith was not created from one of Adam's ribs, as Eve was. No, Lilith was created at the same time as Adam and was his equal in every way. In fact, she was actually considered to be superior to him because she refused to be submissive to him. And the story goes that when God created Adam, he also created Lilith to be his equal. Together, they lived in the Garden of Eden in peace and harmony until one day when Adam decided that he wanted to have dominance over Lilith. He demanded that Lilith submit to him and become his subordinate. But Lilith refused, and she said, "I will not be submissive to you. We are equals, and I will not accept your dominance." Adam was angry, and he confronted Lilith, but she stood her ground and did not back down. Now, the story varies depending on which ancient text you read. But in most versions, Adam ends up kicking Lilith out of the garden for being disobedient and refusing to submit to him. In some versions, though, Adam and Lilith leave the garden together. And in other versions, Lilith is cast out of the garden by God himself for being disobedient. It is believed that the story of Adam and Lilith originated in ancient Mesopotamia, where the Sumerians were the first to tell the story. It is believed that the Sumerians created this myth to explain the creation of humans and to teach them about the importance of obedience and submission. Now, as you may have noticed, this story is quite different from the biblical story of Adam and Eve. In the biblical story, Eve is created from one of Adam's ribs, while in the story of Adam and Lilith, Lilith was created at the same time as Adam and was his equal. Additionally, in the biblical story, Eve is tricked by the serpent into eating the forbidden fruit, while in the story of Adam and Lilith, Lilith is simply disobedient and refuses to submit to Adam. Despite the differences, there are also some similarities between the two stories. Both women are created to be companions for Adam, and both stories take place in a garden. Now, you might be wondering why the story of Adam and Lilith was erased from history books. Well, it is likely that the story of Adam and Lilith was lost to time due to the fact that the Sumerians did not have a written language. The Sumerians were the first human civilization to develop a writing system, but it wasn't until much later that the Babylonians and Assyrians came along and wrote down the stories of Adam and Eve. Another reason is that the story of Adam and Lilith is quite different from the biblical story, and the church wanted to promote the biblical story instead. You see, the story of Adam and Lilith predates Christianity by several thousand years. And so the church saw it as a pagan myth that needed to be replaced with the true story of Adam, Eve. There are several ancient texts that provide details of the story of Adam and Lilith. One of the most famous is the Alphabet of Ben Sira, which is a book of Jewish esoteric writings. According to this text, Adam was created from the dust of the earth, but God soon realized that it was not good for him to be alone. So he created Lilith from the same dust and made her Adam's equal. However, when Adam and Lilith were created, they argued about who was superior. Adam believed that he was superior because he was created first, while Lilith argued that she was superior because she was created from the same dust as Adam and was therefore his equal. Their argument got so bad that it reached the ears of God, who then intervened and told them that they were both his creations and were therefore equal. But Adam still wasn't happy with this arrangement, and he demanded that Lilith submit to him. When she refused, Adam called upon the angels and told them to bring Lilith back to him so that she could submit to him. But Lilith refused to go with them and instead fled to the garden of her father, who was a demon. The angels then returned to Adam and told him that Lilith had fled to her father's garden. Adam was furious, and he demanded that God punish Lilith and bring her back to him so that he could force her to submit to him. God refused, however, saying that Lilith was free to go. Adam was furious, and he cursed Lilith, saying that she would die if she ever returned to him. However, God cursed Adam instead, saying that he would die if he ever went to the garden of Lilith. Another ancient text that provides details of the story of Adam and Lilith is the Zohar, which is another book of Jewish esoteric writings. According to the Zohar, Adam and Lilith were created at the same time and were equals. But Adam was arrogant, and he thought that he was superior to Lilith because he was created first. This caused a rift between them, and Adam began to mistreat Lilith. She then went to God and complained about Adam's mistreatment. God listened to her complaints, and he punished Adam by taking away his power over her. This caused Adam to become even more arrogant, and he began to dominate Lilith instead. She then left him and went to live in the wilderness. Finally, let's look at the Testament of Solomon, which is a pseudepigraphal work that is attributed to King Solomon. According to this text, Adam and Lilith were created at the same time and were equals. But Adam was arrogant, and he thought that he was superior to Lilith because he was created first. This caused a fight between them, and Adam kicked Lilith out of the garden. She then went to live in the wilderness and had children with demons. As you can see, the story of Adam and Lilith is quite different from the biblical story of Adam and Eve. In the biblical story, Eve is created from one of Adam's ribs and is therefore submissive to him. While in the story of Adam and Lilith, Lilith is created at the same time as Adam and is his equal. Additionally, in the biblical story, Eve is tricked by the serpent into eating the forbidden fruit, while in the story of Adam and Lilith, Lilith is simply disobedient and refuses to submit to Adam. The story of Adam and Lilith is a fascinating one, and it provides an alternative perspective on the creation of humans. It is a story that has been lost to time, but it is one that should be remembered. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think of the story of Adam and Lilith? Do you think that she was erased from history on purpose? Or do you think that it was just a coincidence? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button for more videos. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.